Hello, and welcome back to the Murphy Family Kitchen. I'm Jim Murphy, and today we are going to begin the process of making our own bacon. I've heard everybody likes bacon, and I am certainly no exception to that. It sounds like a hard process, but it's really not. It takes a few minutes each day and about 7 days to complete the process. I'm going to run you through all the steps, so let's get started. All right, it is time to begin the curing process for our bacon. And so I have my pork belly here. I get these at Costco. They come in one big package, usually anywhere between 9 and 11 pounds. Usually try and get one about 10 pounds. This one is about 9.5, so not too far off. And I've already mixed together my cure mixture. I'll have the recipe below for everybody. And I have that ready to go here, and so this is a very simple process. So what we'll do first is I want to split this into two pieces. Each one of these cups of cure is good for about up to 5 pounds of pork belly. And so I like to keep it around 10 pounds, cut it in half, and do it in two separate batches. So here we go. Let's go ahead and cut this pork belly in half so we can begin the process. Very nice. And I have two 2-gallon bags here, the Ziploc freezer storage bags, and this just makes the process very simple. So we open up the bag, take 1/2 of the pork belly, put it in here, and then if you just squeeze the top of that wrapper, it lifts right off, keeps your hands nice and clean, and we are good to go. And so we're going to do that with both pieces and get them both started here. So in the cure mixture, you can use kosher salt. I use Pink Himalayan salt, and you'll see in some recipes that they say to use curing salt. I don't use the curing salt. I prefer the Pink Himalayan. You can do it with or without the curing salt, no matter which type of salt you decide to use. It's totally up to you. I like to make my own cure mixture. This way I know what's in it. There's no chemicals, there's no extra preservatives outside of just the salt, and there's no dye. So you'll notice that the bacon, when we're through, is probably going to be a little paler in color than what you're used to getting from the store, simply because there's no dye involved in making it look that darker red color. I promise you the taste will be far better than any bacon that you've had before. Now that I have both of these in the bag, I'm going to take and put the cure into each of the bags. And so I put half on one side, flip it over, put about half on the other side, and then I'm going to seal this bag up. And then just shake it around. Kind of like the old TV commercials I saw when I was a kid for shake and bake. We want to make sure we get the whole thing good and coated all the way around. Once it's all coated, we're just going to open it up a little bit, push the air out of the bag, and then seal it again, and we'll set it off to the side and do the next one. These are now ready to go in the refrigerator, where they'll sit for anywhere from 5 to 7 days. Each day we'll go and we will turn them over. You'll see that moisture will begin collecting in the bag. That's all the moisture being pulled out of the meat. And by the time we're done, there'll be maybe an ounce or two of fluid in the bag. We'll take it out, rinse the whole thing off really good, and then put it on our smoker. But that's a few days out. Right now, we're ready for the refrigerator. So here we are 1 day after beginning the cure process, and you'll see that the bags are starting to fill with just a little bit of fluid. That cure is pulling the moisture out of the meat. So each day we just want to visit it one time, we're just going to come down and we're going to turn this over so that we get all sides of this meat cured properly, and we can get that moisture out before we begin the smoking process, which again takes place after 5 to 7 days of curing. We're going to cure these here for 6 days and then smoke on the 7th day, and we will come back later in the week and I'll have you take a look at what it looks like after just a few days. Here we are on day 4 of the curing process for this bacon, and it's time once again to turn these over. As I do, you'll see all the liquid in the bag, and that is the moisture being pulled out of this meat, which is exactly what we want it to do. It looks great, the color is perfect, and we're all set for another 24 hours. We'll take these out on day 6 and rinse them real well and put them back in here to dry on a rack, and then we will smoke them on day 7. Well, here we are on day 6 of our bacon cure, and it is time to open the packages and rinse all of the cure off of the meat. So we use cold water for that. You'll see in the back here, there's quite a bit of fluid. This is all the moisture that the cure pulled out of the meat. And we're just going to discard all of that and rinse this meat off really, really well. We're going to get all of the cure off. And then we're going to set it on a rack over the tray here and put it back in the refrigerator overnight, and that's going to allow it to dry properly and be ready for the smoker tomorrow. Just want to make sure we get all of this off of here. Again, just with cold water, nothing else. You rub it a little bit with your hand to make sure we get all the pieces off of there. Let it drip for just a minute, and then we're going to put it on our rack here to dry. And then we do the same thing with the second piece. We're going to discard the bag and all of the liquid that's in it. Rinse this off and put it on our rack to dry. All right, here we go. Everything is all rinsed and cleaned off. We're on our racks and we're going to the refrigerator. And here we are at the refrigerator. Now we'll just let this rest overnight. It'll dry up. We have the pan there to catch any drippings from it, and it'll be ready for the smoker first thing in the morning. Well, it's day number 7, and it is time to put this bacon outside on the smoker. All right, we got our smoker all heated up here, and so we're going to adjust the temperature down. We want to smoke this at 200 degrees for 3 hours. The outside temperature today is, right now, it's 18 degrees. We're getting an early start here, early in the morning, because we got some winter weather moving in later on in the morning, and I didn't want to miss out on this opportunity to get this bacon smoked today. So we are going to go ahead and put this on. So I have the fire set at 220, and I'm going to try and maintain the box temperature at 200. We really need 200 degrees for 3 hours, or until the meat has an internal temperature of 150 degrees. That's when we know the smoking is complete. So I have it on. I will monitor the temperature of this box quite frequently this morning due to the outside temperature, and we will check on this in a few hours. Well, we've been smoking this bacon now for about an hour and a half, so we're about halfway through. Just came out to check the temperature again. I've been out here about every 10 to 15 minutes since to make sure we're maintaining a good 200 degrees. I've had some heat loss out of the box, but we've been able to keep it pretty close. So it's right on 200 right now. We're just going to take a quick peek. I don't usually do this. The old saying goes that if you're looking, you're not cooking. But I just want to show y'all what we have going on here. And so there's the bacon smoking. It's looking really nice. And we're just going to close that up and try and keep as much heat in that box as we can and let it keep smoking. We'll come back in about an hour and a half and it should be done. We are back out at the smoker now. It has been 3 hours since we put this on, and we're just going to take a quick check of the temperature here with our instant read thermometer, get it back in the middle, and we're showing about 167 on that one, and the same here, 160, well, it's a little bit less, 162. We needed to be at least 150, so we are good to go on both of these. They look delicious. We are going to take them off of the heat now, put them on my tray, and carry them back up inside the house. Well, this bacon really looks amazing. And we're going to let it rest for a while. It really needs to come up to room temperature and then be put in the refrigerator before we actually slice it. It's so much easier to do it that way. Now this bacon has cooled enough that we can begin to slice it without any problem. So we're going to go ahead and just slice some off with the knife here. You can make it the thickness that you like. I have a deli slicer that I use most of the time, but I realize that not everybody has that, and so this is the alternative. I did this for a long time before I actually had the slicer, and it works out just fine. And you can slice it to the thickness that you like, and this looks fantastic. This is going to be excellent when we fry it up. Well, that gets us through all the steps of making our bacon at home. So we fried up a few pieces. It looks great. We like to have it a little bit crispy, so that's the way I made it here. And when I was through, I poured my grease off into our can here where we store our bacon grease. And it has a little filter on top that catches any debris or particles that may come off in the fry pan. We use bacon grease in place of butter and oil a lot of the time as we're cooking, so this makes it very convenient for us to have. So with that said, we're going to check out this bacon here. It looks great. Very crispy, very nice taste. Slightest hint of maple, just the right saltiness, not very sweet. I think you will really enjoy this. I want to thank you all again for watching this. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you try to make your own bacon. It is an easy process, and I think you really enjoyed it. So if you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, hit like. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. I ask you to leave comments, leave questions, I'll get back to you. and please share this with your friends. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.